Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the 2Q FY22 earnings conference call of FIAM Industries Limited, hosted by Monarch Networth Capital Limited. This conference call may contain forward-looking statements about the company which are based on the beliefs, opinions, and expectations of the company as on the date of this call. The statements are not the guarantees of future performance and involve risks and uncertainties that are difficult to predict. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Anubhav Rawat from Monarch Networth Capital Limited. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Yeah, thanks, Leo. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Monarch Networth Capital, I welcome you all to Q2 FY22 conference call of FIAM Industries Limited. We'll start the call with initial comments about the results and future outlook of the company, and then we will have Q&A. So without much delay, I hand over this call to Mr. J.K. Jain, CMD of the company. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you to the Q2 FY22 earnings call of your company. Let me introduce the participants on today's call. Along with me, we have Mr. Rahul Jain, Director, Mr. Rajesh Sharma, Director, Mr. O.P. Gupta, CFO, Mr. Arvind Chauhan, Company Secretary, and other members of the finance team. I am pleased to report that your company has been able to record very strong result, posting highest ever sales of rupees 416 crores for the. This has been achieved in spite of the industry's heading like commodity pricing, electronic component shortage, and uncertainty around COVID-19. I would like to
I'm sorry to interrupt you, sir, but your voice is breaking.
Performance to the strength of our company and ability to adapt to changing environment. Q2 FY22. Can you hear me now?
Hello. Yes, sir, much better.
Hello. Better now?
Yes, sir, much better. Please go ahead.
Or else he will shift on another phone. Okay, go ahead.
Again? I am pleased to report that your company has been able to record very strong result, posting highest ever sales of rupees 460 crores for the quarter. This has been achieved in spite of the industry's headwinds like commodity price increases, electronic component shortage, and uncertainty around COVID-19. I would like to and ability to adapt to changing environment. During the Q2 domestic sales volume grew to 5.2 million units. This was a % jump previous quarter of 3 million units. This was still below 1.6 million recorded in the last year. Reflecting the above quarterly most over.
I'm really sorry to interrupt, sir, but the line isn't very clear.
On year-on-year basis, the product.
Participants, please stay connected while we reconnect the management. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay connected while we reconnect the line for the management. Thank you. Participants, thank you for patiently holding your lines. We have the line for the management reconnected. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, apologies for this connection. It seems we were having some issues. Were you able to get the speech at all, or would we request to sort of start all over again? What would you recommend?
Sir, I think you can give the financial highlights and then we can open the floor for questions.
We continue to outperform the industries, and our sales grew by 12.2% year-on-year basis and 52.9% on quarter-on-quarter basis. This has been achieved due to our product mix and diversified customer base. As you are aware, there has been significant escalation in the input cost during this quarter. Our raw material and component cost rose by approximately 3.5% on sequential basis. Due to the increased sales and better utilization of the fixed cost, our EBITDA margin declined marginally from 13.4% to 12.5%. Our efforts in the EV segment continued, and our team are working closely with both existing and new potential customers. EV segment is witnessing a number of new entrants, although overall EV monthly volumes are still low. This should see significant pickup in the next 12 months. As you are aware, we are working with most of the leading EV players, and this should start showing results in FY23. We continue to work with our OEM customers in the developing new products and have a very healthy pipeline for future growth. In order to prepare ourselves for future, we are firming up capex plan of approximately rupees 75 to 100 crore over the next 2 years. This should give us enough headroom for future growth. Given our strong cash flow position, we should be able to fund all this growth through internal accruals. We are entering an exciting phase in our industries with new products and technology which are making a big impact. Your company is uniquely positioned to benefit from these changes, and I am confident that we will continue to retain our leadership position in the two-wheeler segment. With this, I hand over to our CFO, Mr. Gupta, and the financial team to update on detailed numbers. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon to everyone. I will present the Q2 numbers for FY22. The company's sales of rupees 416.26 crore in Q2 of current financial year against rupees 370.95 crore in corresponding quarter of 2021, registering a growth of 12.2% on a year-on-year basis. On a quarter-on-quarter basis, this is a 53% increase from a base of rupees 272.25 crore. The EBITDA was rupees 51.95 crore, translating into an EBITDA margin of 12.48% as compared to an EBITDA of rupees 49.81 crore or 13.43% in Q2 of previous financial year. The decline in EBITDA margin is mainly due to increase in input costs. PAT increased by 8.8% to rupees 26.84 crore as compared to rupees 24.67 crore in corresponding quarter of FY 2021. Quarter-on-quarter basis, PAT is higher by 114.4%. During the quarter, the company has made a capex of rupees 6.43 crore. We continue to be a net zero debt company. With this, I end the financial brief, and now the floor is open for question and answers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking questions. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. To ask questions, please press star and 1. The first question is from the line of Ashutosh Tiwari from Equirus Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir, congrats on good numbers. Firstly, if I look at our sales to Yamaha in the first half, and if we assume that similar sales is done in second half, then probably our sales to Yamaha will be almost up 60% versus last year in this year, and also almost double of what we did in FY20. So my question is that how do you see Yamaha ramping up from here? Do we have more models to be added to this, basically what we're supplying right now? So how do you see the sales to Yamaha going ahead over next 2-3 years?
Yeah, I'm Rajesh Sharma. I will just reply you back about this question. Of course, Yamaha is adding new models year on year. And in the past, if you see in last 2 years, almost 7 to 8 models being introduced by them, not only for domestic and our countries like Indonesia, Italy, Thailand, Vietnam, Colombia, and Japan. So we have started those underdeveloped developed product now to those countries, and volumes are increasing year on month by month.
So, I mean, you are saying that currently supplied 7 to 8 models already of Yamaha?
Yeah, 7-8 models is already being introduced. If I talk about MT15 series, MT15 series, 7 models have already launched with respect to the global market. And those all products are under mass production now. And we have started supplying, exporting from here to those countries.
Okay. And how many more models can flow through going ahead for next, say, over next 1 or 2 years?
There are almost 7 projects as of now under development.
And this is apart from this MT15 you're saying, basically?
Yeah, MT series also. There are few products which is coming under MT series. MT series is a specific model which is first time introduced by us. That is the smallest headlamp in the world, which is patented by us and our customer. And this module is being used for the different models by changing the outer peripheral and styling aspects.
Okay. So I think there is still a long basically ramp up possible in Yamaha revenue by years.
Right.
Okay, good. And any other overseas customer order apart from Yamaha where we're making good progress?
We started with the Harley Davidson export.
Okay, and this is for which
geography? Yeah, Harley Davidson, although they have stopped their activities in India, mass production activity, but we have already started for their 4 models in Thailand as well as in US. So we are exporting directly from here to US and Thailand.
And this started when?
This started this quarter only, majorly.
2Q basically. September quarter. Okay. So this will further ramp up from here. Okay.
Yes.
So I think and you also have Ola order now, so I think there will be a good ramp up apart from industry growth rate and revival over next 2-3 years.
Exactly.
Okay.
Correct.
This the capex that you mentioned, 75 to 100 crores, right? You said over next 2 years.
Yes.
Yes,
So,
please.
and what would be apart from this, say 1,800 crore capex, what would be your maintenance capex per year?
Yeah, this CapEx.
Sorry, I didn't hear, so voice was breaking.
This includes the maintenance capex. Maintenance capex is not much, means. It is
Okay, so over next 2 years, the
20
capex
crores
will
plus,
be...
yeah.
Sorry?
It will be substantially the growth capex.
Okay, so I think the next 2 year capex should not be more than 100 crores cumulative, 23-24.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is what we estimated.
Yes.
Okay, I think still we will generate very strong free cash flows going ahead. Okay, and the other thing is that if I look at other expenses, has not grown so much. Is there any one-off, or we can maintain these levels going ahead? Like say, I mean, obviously with sales it increased, but as a percentage of sales, it is quite low number compared to what we have been doing over the last 2-3 years.
These other expenses are same. It all not the other means the fixed costs are almost same, and this is a very high sales volume now.
I think as a percentage, we are seeing lower number because of the increased sale. But
Okay.
otherwise, to answer your question, they are not expected to increase other expenses.
So, okay. And looking at the gross margin compression, we probably have not been able to pass on the full impact of commodity to customers. So how do you see it going ahead? Are customers giving more price increases going ahead? We expect this to improve.
See, this raw material increase, it is the industry-wide phenomena. It takes around 6 months to 9 months to take on this price increase. But everybody is aware that commodity prices are increasing, so it is not a big deal to get that.
So if that is the case, as basically I think our sales also grow well apart from industry revival, and there is some pass-through of this commodity inflation, the margins should actually go towards, is it possible to go towards 13-14% range over next 2 years, directionally?
You can see our margins are better than the peers of the industry. So what we should think about the realistic, these are the 12 to 13% are good.
Okay. And lastly, on this, if I look at the plastic molded parts sales in this quarter versus Q1, it has almost doubled. So, I mean, my question is that which are the key customers for us in plastic molded parts?
Plastic molding is primarily be used for our captive use, but there are few products which we supply to Honda, and that too for their first plant as well as third plant in Bangalore. These are the 2 plants where we are supplying, and some few components are for TVS also.
You said first plant and the other is Bangalore plant, basically. Okay.
No, other in Ahmedabad plant.
Okay, so that's why because your Honda has ramped up well on quarter-on-quarter basis, that's why the sales has gone up so much in this vertical.
Yes. Right.
And
plus to TVS.
Okay. And just lastly, in terms of YOY growth, what part of this growth is driven by, say, price increase pass-through? If you can provide some color.
No, you see this Y-on-Y, this is majorly the mix of value as well as the volume growth. So these are the only 2 factors.
So I just want to understand what is the contribution by the value growth because of the pass-through of RM compared to last year?
Majorly value. Yeah, it is difficult to break up, but it is majorly value.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot and all the best. We're doing very well.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Kashyap Zaveri from MK Investment Managers. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, yes, please. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir, and congratulations for quite a strong set of top line. On the raw material side, one question, how would the pass-through happen, and any recouping of, this quarter's gross margins that could happen in coming quarter? That's question number one. Question number two, in line with, client-wise, breakup that we give, HMSI is yet to get back to, H2 FY20 kind of number. How much of it is due to, their production not coming up, back online? And if any, any market share loss is also part of that decline. And the third question is on the EV side. When is our product supposed to, roll out? Have any supplies happened in, would the supply start in 3Q, or would it be like 4Q next year only? I mean, 4Q FY22 only.
So your first question first. Regarding this raw material pass on, this is a continuous process. Means everything what is happening, it is with a lag of 6 months to 9 months. It takes place. So it is well in the knowledge of the customer even before increase and everything. So it is whatever is supposed this month, it was for a previous half year or so. Now coming to your HMSI volumes. You are comparing the 6 months of previous year and 6 months of this year, correct?
No, sir. I am comparing 6 months of FY20, which is like 2 years.
Half year.
So to answer the question, there is
September 19 and September 21.
So there is no market share loss. I think this is all driven by specific product volumes. So HMSI is getting back. Last quarter was obviously very, very low. This quarter HMSI has recovered. So I think we'll get back to our original volumes pretty soon. So there is no loss on market share.
But would they start in 3 4?
Hello.
Your voice is not audible.
Sorry, I am asking in terms of supplies to the EV player, would they start in this quarter or would they start in next quarter?
Some of the EV have already started, and some of the new models will be added in the next quarter, as well as this will be continue for next year or next to next year too.
Okay.
It will totally depend on the gradually ramp-up plan of each customers.
Right. And one last question in terms of, let's say, supplies to electric vehicle and LED, would there be a difference in terms of realization even when it's, let's say, an LED to EV versus LED to a conventional scooter, or should they both be same?
Yeah, both are same because electrical requirement with respect to the lamp is same because these are all homologation parts, safety parts. So there is no much change.
Okay. Sure. Thank you so much, sir. That's it from my side.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sahil Jain, who's an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, and congratulations for the good performance, especially on the top line. Now, my first question, continuing on the last participant. Sir, roughly how much of the revenue share do we do from EVs right now, say maybe in second quarter? If you can give me a rough estimate of the revenue from EVs.
So Sahil, EV, as you know, is just starting the journey. Overall, I mean, if you see the overall numbers as percentages from a penetration perspective also in India is not much. So I think the way to look at it, and we are not sort of disclosing individual numbers customer-wise, but I think the point to say is that the journey is a direction over the next quarter, say over the next 1 year, we see significant ramp up. So, and we are working with most of the top EV players in India already, which are there. And so you will see volumes coming through over the next 12 months. It would be difficult to give this quarter specific numbers.
Got it, sir. Got it. My second question, again on the EV side only, like you said that you are working with multiple EV OEMs. So HMSI is also bringing one EV scooter by next year. So have they communicated anything yet? I mean, and since it's a leader in the scooter segment and our key client, so do we expect sole supplier status and in turn revenue growth from that?
Yeah, HMSI have recently announced for the EV scooter that to be launched, and that vehicle will be, of course, from their off-the-cell parts, which is being running inside in Honda some of the plant. And
Okay.
of course, the business for the Indian market is required Indian homologation. So those will be developed in India, and of course, priority will be given to the supplier who are already engaged with them.
Okay. So, sir, I mean, so when do we start production for them? Any timelines defined?
Still announcement is done. We are just waiting for the drawings and RFQs to start the business for this electric vehicle.
Okay. Got it, sir. Got it. And my last question, sir, is that in 2Q, which OEM clients led to the growth in your top line? So you have been broadly saying that it is more of value-based growth, but was there also some new addition in the OEMs or any particular OEM client which specifically led to our growth in 2Q?
See, this is, as I already said, this is a mix of value and volume-driven growth, and all OEMs have contributed. But Yamaha, yes, there is a big jump in Yamaha sales.
Okay. And that is something that will continue, or how should we understand that? I mean, that new volumes for Yamaha.
These volumes will be continued.
Okay. And sir, and starting September, so particularly 3Q, have we already added any new OEMs?
We are working with all leading OEMs. So this is as far as the new developments are concerned and new OEM potential customers are concerned, we are working. But this is not the right time to talk about it.
Got it, sir. So thank you for answering my question, sir, and all the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shrishti Agarwal from Next Capital. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir. Sir, I wanted to understand how is the working capital cycle shaping up? Are we facing challenges on the receivables front or the inventory management? How is that shaping up?
No, there is no challenge on the receivables. Actually, there is a offer from the customer for the bill discounting. So our debtors are 20 days.
Okay. Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
We deal with the top tier customers, so we don't have any challenge.
Problem of any payment from anywhere. Nothing.
Understood, sir. So we are ahead of the industry.
Absolutely.
Understood. So, we have considerably reduced debt. So, and we are, expected to generate free cash flow. So, what do we plan on doing with that cash? Is there any buyback on the card?
See, we are looking at big growth in the company, and whatever is the cash generation, it will be used for the growth of the company, whatever the capex requirement, and whatever the use in the business as working capital.
Okay, sir. So that is the capex that you. So apart from the ones that you have announced, you all are planning on further capex as well, or you all will decide that as well.
No, capex plan is already the one which we are saying it will be between that range over the next 2 years. But essentially between the dividend policy that we've already announced and the capex, at this point of time there is no consideration for anything else. At some point later, if there is a change in situation, we can always have a look. But at this point of time, I mean, we would rather sort of invest in our growth.
Understood, sir. Sir, and CV segment is expected to grow. Are we seeing any new client additions there? Are we working with all the top clients? Can you throw some light on that front, on the CV segment?
Yeah, we are already working on CV segments with respect to the top customers. And of course, there are few models which our customer is planning for years to come. And we are closely be monitoring those things, and we are aligning with all customers together.
Can you name a few customers, or?
Of course, CV is always the Tata Motors and Ashok Leyland. These are the few Mahindra and Mahindra. These are the customers really. Yes.
Oh, so we are working with all of the top ones. So one last question. How do we, based on the current capacity, how do we expect our revenues and margins to look like? Not from the point of view of guidance, but from the existing capacity and what we've planned. How do we foresee growth?
So if we talk about the utilization of our capacity, it is of course as of now we are retaining almost 75%. But it is totally depend on the model mix, like product mix. Like what product we are producing as of now with the same capacity which we installed years back on its years. Those products are of course the electric vehicle, EV, especially LED lamps, and those are being produced and revenues of course more in that case. So
almost 2x.
Yeah. So conventional to LED, there are 2 multiplied by 2 or 3 also, sometimes 4 also. It is totally depend on the volume as well as the configuration of the vehicle which is being produced with the same capacity utilization of our machines.
Understood, sir. And where do we see margins going?
Margins will remain same. This is what we already told.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Priyadarshi Srivastava from Monarch Networth Capital. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Congratulations on good set of numbers, sir. So most of the questions are answered, sir. I just wanted to know, sir, what is your overall outlook on the two-wheeler industry, sir? And by when do you see the numbers to come back to the previous levels or the normal levels, sir?
Yeah, we are very hopeful and we are sure that two-wheeler industry will grow. As it was growing 20-25% year-on-year basis before COVID. So we expect the same thing should happen in years to come. Basically, the growth we are expecting from 2022 onward, because at that time all the EV sector will also come, and we are very, very much hopeful that the things will be much better than before.
Okay, sir. Okay, so and what any sir like broad guidance by when you see that the volumes to come back to the previous or normal levels, sir?
We expect by the first quarter of by the second quarter, the beginning of next year, I think the volume should increase, and by the second quarter we should, I think this COVID situation should be over. That is expectation.
Okay, thanks. Sir, one last question, that what's happening on the Hero MotoCorp front, sir? Any updates on that, sir?
Yeah, the development is going on. Many product development is going on, and we are in the best pipeline.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you very much, sir, and wish you all the best, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Anika Mittal from Invest Research. Please go ahead. Anika Mittal from Invest Research, you may go ahead with the question. There seems to be no response from the line of Anika Mittal. We'll move to the next question. Before we take the next question, a reminder to participants that you may press star and 1 to join the question queue. The next question is from the line of Anand Kumar, who's an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir. Is there any demand side issue as there is a chip shortage in the whole automotive industry, as 89% of your revenue from the original equipment manufacturers? And my second question is, how much percentage the solar business will add to overall top line in the upcoming quarters? And my third question, sir, is there any new clients are added in the current quarter for the EV space? That's it, sir.
Yeah. So first of all, your first question is related to semiconductor.
Yes, sir.
There is a shortage of semiconductors worldwide, and it is totally depend on if we are managing with respect to the discussion with OEMs.
Okay.
And we are buying few of the components which are critical from the open market, and we are running our production line. And this will continue for another 2-3 months, and hope so by next year this whole situation will be cleared. Yeah.
Sir, are you paying any extra amount for the semiconductors, sir, as there is a very high demand for the chip shortage?
It is not like extra money, but it is supported by customer. Some of the time customer is talking with directly suppliers, and we are getting the support from manufacturer and suppliers too.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. And how much Ola business will add to the overall top line, sir, in the upcoming quarters, as the FEAM is the only sole supplier to the Ola?
Yeah, this is just now started because ramp up is started now, and month on month their production will be established, and we are together very closely working with Ola, and we hope a good market in future.
Okay, sir. And my third question is, any new clients added in the EV space other than Ola, sir? That is, by end of the FY22, Hero MotoCorp will launch the new EV vehicle. Is there any contribution of our company to the Hero MotoCorp, sir?
Yes, we are working together, but as of now, disclosing the name of customers, because till the time vehicle is not launched,
okay,
we have to keep confidential. But we are working with almost all the top leader of EV industries.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. And my final question, sir, based on the balance sheet, an investment of 90.7 crores have been made. Is it any startup, sir? Any new startups or any other, sir?
No, please mention this is the temporary parking of the available funds. It is in the liquid mutual funds.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Before we take the next question, a reminder to participants that you may press star and 1 to join the question queue. The next question is from the line of Jehan Bada from Nirmal Bang. Please go ahead.
Sir, if I look at the LED mix in total lighting, that is at 39% for this quarter, as opposed to, let's say, around 38% in FY20. So, over last 1.5 odd years, the mix has actually not increased much, right? We were anticipating that it should move closer to 45 to 50% by now. So, any comments on that?
Basically, due to the COVID, the sales first quarter was down almost. As the sales increases, automatically the LED content will increase.
Okay. Or is it that the OEM clients are not, just to keep the cost of scooters low, they are not adopting LED lights. Is that the case?
No, it is not. You see, it is not, because the trend of as you know that the trend of EV is going on, and on the EVs you can't put normal bulbs.
Okay.
So it is more likely to happen day by day. It is going to increase rather than decrease.
Right. Okay. Sir, second question is that whatever new business that we will get from EVs, to some extent that will come at the cost of our existing sales to, let's say, Honda, Activa. So for us, the incremental benefit will be lesser, right? I mean, because on the other hand, the existing sales to Honda, Activa will come down as the EV sales go up, right?
You see, as far as the industry is concerned, please note that we were working before COVID at 19.2 million. After COVID, now we are working at 15.2 million, right?
Right.
And the expectation at that time was that we should work somewhere around 24 million. So it is gone because of the COVID, because it was nobody's hand. So as far as your question regarding, the LED, this EV will come and normal existing player will be down. No, it will not be there. Please understand, we are not expecting that 100% changeover will happen before 2035. So it will take so much time. So the existing vehicle and the new model of the existing thing with petrol, it will also come along with the EV. So that is going to remain. Our estimate is 2035. So we are not afraid that, because of the EV, our existing customer will be disturbed. As a matter of fact, everybody is preparing themselves for coming out with EV, but at a suitable time.
Okay, got it, sir. Sir, last question. If we look at scooters as a category and motorcycles, what is the LED mix in both the categories separately?
Almost it is similar. I mean,
okay.
You can say almost 35 to 40%.
Okay, fine. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Participants who wish to ask questions, please press star and 1. The next question is from the line of Ashutosh Tiwari from Equirus Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, sir. So on this Harley Davidson order that you have got from Thailand and US, is it LED or halogen headlamps, or what lamp are these are visiting?
These are all LED.
All the lamps are LED lamps.
Okay, Harley order is completely LED. Okay. And are we also engaging with TVS for their new EV lineup that they're planning?
Oh yes, we are very much working on that, and we'll announce later.
Recently, Rider is being launched. Rider model is being launched.
So they will supply what is supply over there?
Headlamp and tail lamp both is supplied by us. Those are all
the lamps.
All lamps are with LED only.
Oh wow. Okay, so that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was the last question in queue. I would now like to hand the conference back to the management team for closing comments.
Thank you everyone for participating in the con call. I hope we have been able to reply all your queries adequately. Please stay safe and be healthy. Thank you very much. Good day.
Thank you very much. On behalf of FIAM Industries and Monarch Networth Capital Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. You may now disconnect your lines.